So Road to UFC Episode 2 will be taking place straight after the first one, and it will be on at 8 AM Eastern Time on Saturday. So you can watch episode number 1 and then episode number 2 just straight up, and it is going to be obviously live streamed on UFC Fight Pass like the first one. This should be another good one. It's going to be the flyweights and the featherweights, and so the rest of the flyweights and the featherweights that were not on the episode number 1, if you know what I mean, in the bonus fight, is going to be a banger, man. This is going to be at welterweight, and this should be a fantastic fight. I'm really looking forward to this one. Tailaki Niraj, he's a KO artist, man. He's got 8 wins by KO in his career. I believe almost all of them are in first round KOs. And when you watch this guy, man, he's in fun fights. This guy is in fun fights, and he just knocks people out. If he lands, he's going to knock them out. If he lands, it's over. And so it's really fun fights from Tailaki Niraj. Now, Han-Seol Kim is the more technical striker in this matchup. He's going to be the better grappler in this matchup as well. But Han-Seol Kim, he doesn't really go for offensive takedowns. You know, he did submit John Adjar in his Road to UFC performance last year, but he knocked John Adjar down first and then kind of pounced on him and got the submission after that. And it was a very good performance from Han-Seol Kim. And I kind of thought the UFC were just going to sign him after that. But now he's getting another Road to UFC opportunity. And I think he'll definitely get signed to the UFC if he can get past Tailaki Niraj. The odds are very interesting in this one here, in my opinion, because Han-Seol Kim, when he fought John Adjar, he was only like a minus 150 favorite, and in my opinion, that fight is less competitive than this one. Now, to be fair, Niraj is probably a little bit one-dimensional compared to Kim, but I think he can definitely find the KO blow if he wins. But I do have Han-Seol Kim here. I am picking Han-Seol Kim. I was really tempted to pick Tailaki Niraj. I was this close, man, but I've been put off a little bit. I do like Han-Seol Kim. He trains with the Korean Zombie. He'll be getting good looks there. He's the more technical striker. He's the more well-rounded fighter. And that's why I'm going to be picking Kim. But it's probably not a guy. If you're looking to parlay, I would leave Kim out of it, because Niraj, man, this guy could get a KO. And we saw last year, Zhang Mingyang, we're still waiting on him to make his debut, but he knocked out George Tokos as like a plus like 400, plus 500 underdog, which was crazy. So, yeah, we could see a similar situation there, but I am predicting it not to happen. I think Kim wins by finish here. I think this fight doesn't go the distance. I've got Kim by finish. Submission is likely as well, because as I said, Niraj is quite one-dimensional, and I'm sure Han-Seol Kim's team knows that, and they'll probably try to exploit that. So I've got Han-Seol Kim. He could knock him out on the feet, he could submit him on the ground, but I do think he gets a finish in the matchup. The next one is Jinryu Shi taking on Billy Pasulatan. Now, Jinryu Shi, I believe he's 22 years old. That is what I got on the JCK website, which is the promotion that he spent a lot of his career on. But I think this is going to be like a striker versus grappler matchup, and Jinryu Shi should be able to win. I think he should be able to out-wrestle Billy Pasulatan, who is the striker. So Jinryu Shi is the wrestler, Billy Pasulatan is the striker. And one thing you will notice as well is Billy Pasulatan is a men's strawweight. This guy's moving up a weight class to flyweight. That's right, men's strawweight does exist. Primarily only in Asia, but Billy Pasulatan, I don't think he's ever fought at flyweight before, and he's a small guy, man. He fights at 115 pounds as a male, you know, so he's going to be a lot smaller than Jinryu Shi in this matchup. And even then, on top of that, Billy Pasulatan, grappling isn't that good, and his cardio is not that good. So Jinryu Shi, with his offensive wrestling and grappling, he's going to be trying to outwork Billy Pasulatan the whole time in the wrestling. And I think it's going to wear on Billy, and I think Jinryu Shi will be able to kind of take over as the fight goes on. I like Jinryu Shi, probably by decision here. Billy Pasulatan will probably be live at all times. You know, this guy gets KOs. But I've got Jinryu Shi. You've got to kind of take the guy that's the wrestler in the matchup, and also the guy that's going to have the size advantage as the wrestler. So I like Jinryu Shi to win this one here by decision as well. Billy is live as an underdog. And as you can see, Tapology kind of does see a path to victory for him. But I do believe Jinryu Shi should be able to get it done. This one here is a fight which, if you're wanting to put money on the card, don't put it on this one again. This is a fight to avoid. This is a close fight. In my opinion, this is the closest fight on the entire card. This is the closest fight out of the first and second episode, and the odds do reflect that. You can see Yubi Jali is only plus 115 as an underdog to Kuya Kanda. Now, this is going to be a bit of a step up in competition for both guys. And it's a weird fight, because Yubi Jali is going to probably want to keep the fight on the feet, whereas Kuya Kanda is a good striker himself, but he can wrestle as well. He can go for offensive takedowns. Now, Yubisheli can as well. I mean, he's very experienced now. This will be like his, 34th professional fight? 35th, actually. Quick maths, but... yeah, anyway, it could be really bad as well. Like, both guys are pretty hittable on the feet, and they're both pretty low volume on the feet as well. But Koya Kanda is more well-rounded, in my opinion. He's probably more skilled as well. If you do go to Yubijeli, I believe he's won the JCK tournament a couple of times now, but he's not really beaten the best guys to do that, is he? So, I am going to go with Koya Kanda by decision. I don't trust this fight, man. This is going to be a close fight. It could go the distance, and it could be a split decision. Like, it's going to be close. Like, both guys, pretty low volume strikers, but also both guys are pretty hittable. Koya Kanda will probably be going for takedowns, but Yubijeli is pretty good at defending takedowns. It's just going to be... It's going to be a bit of a mess. I'll just say it like that. It's not a fight I'm confident in whatsoever. So I'll move on to the next one. And this is a much more confident pick for me. Sumit Kamar taking on Seungak Choi. Sumit Kamar does train in the USA, does train at Team Alpha Male, and I do believe he's trained at a couple of other gyms in the USA as well. But this guy's record is scaring me off, man. Like, he's 4-0, but like a couple of fights have been overturned due to like maybe fighting guys that were purposely meant to lose against him. I don't really know, but they've been flagged by Tapology as like sketchy fights, and of those wins that are left, he's never beaten anyone that has a win. You know, he has beaten a 2-0 guy at one point in his career that was overturned. So, yeah, Sumit Kamar's going to want to wrestle offensively, but Seungak Choi is just going to be better than him, man. Seungak Choi, you know, I thought he was going to win against Hyun-Sung Park. I actually picked him to beat Hyun-Sung Park, and he was maybe potentially on his way to winning that fight. Park did take over towards the end. He did end up getting the submission. But before that, he beat Kulun, who is a very good fighter from China. He beat Ramasupandi, and he looked really good in that performance as well. But before that, he'd never really beaten anyone that great. But now that he's got so much experience against good competition, he's kind of in a much better position than when he was last year. Because when he came into his fights last year, he had not fought anyone that great. Kind of like Sumit Kamar. But now he's got a lot more experience against much better fighters. He trains with the Korean Zombie as well. He's a much better striker than Sumit Kamar, and I think he's going to be able to keep the fight on the feet, and he should probably maybe even be able to find a knockout in this one here. I'm going to go with Seungak Choi by KO here. I just don't trust Sumit Kamar, man. I know Sumit Kamar's getting a lot of high-level training right now. He's in Team Alpha Male, but you just gotta kind of look at the records, and when you watch his fights, he's just getting no resistance whatsoever. He's never been cut open. He's never been hurt. No one's ever like given him any resistance. He's just dominated everything. Whereas Seungak Choi has felt resistance in his career, and he knows how to deal with that. So I'm just gonna go Choi by KO in this matchup here. He's a pretty big favorite. He should be able to get it done. And this next fight, I'm really looking forward to this one, man. I'm all over Kai-Win Lee in this fight as well. Kai-Win Lee, he's got a lot of fight experience for one championship, and a lot of that experience come when he was younger. Now, there's a lot of kind of little things that you could notice here. He's been very inactive. He's fought 2 times in the last 3.5 years, but I think he's been dealing with injuries. And with Liu Kai, I don't rate him that highly personally. I was very surprised that he managed to get past Unger Hans, and then he did lose to Zhang Yang Li, which kind of does happen, but I just don't rate Liu Kai too much. These guys both actually have pretty similar styles, which is they like to strike, and they like to throw powerful shots, and they like to knock each other out, and it's kind of probably is going to come down to who lands first, but I'm going to go with Lee Kai-Win here to win by KO in the first round. I think he can land first, and I think he's the better fighter than Liu Kai. And on top of that as well, Liu Kai took this fight on short notice. He's filling in for a different opponent. Lee Kai-Win was meant to fight someone else, and now Liu Kai has stepped in. So I've got Lee Kai-Win by KO in the very first round. You know, he's also got a lot of experience fighting for one championship, and on top of that as well, he fought a lot of really good guys, and he was actually meant to sign to the UFC if he beat Fabricio de Andrade. He was actually in conversation to sign to the UFC because I think he was unhappy with fighting for one championship, but then he did lose to Fabricio de Andrade, and that kind of put a bit of a spanner in the works, I guess you could say. So I mean, now Lee Kai Wen's got a second opportunity to get it into the UFC. I think he can beat Liu Kai, and I honestly think that Lee Kai Wen can go the whole way. I think he can win the whole thing. So, yeah, give me Lee Kai Wen to win this matchup here. And that is my predictions for the second episode. It should be a good one. The second episode should be good. I think there might be a couple of duds in this one here, but there's going to be some bangers, man. The featured fight is great. Lee Kai Wen versus Liu Kai is going to be great. Jinyi Shi should be versus Billy Passalatan should be a very interesting fight. And I'm really looking forward to it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below.